The First Man. Chapter 1. The Walking Apes of the Great Rift Valley. To find the first man, we have to start long before anyone was wearing pants. We need to travel back roughly 6 to 7 million years ago to the dense forests and expanding grasslands of Africa. At this point in time, our ancestors shared a common branch with chimpanzees. We weren't humans yet, we were precursors. But the environment was changing, the trees were thinning out, and a group of brave, or perhaps just very confused primates decided it was time to step down into the tall grass. Enter the early hominins like Sahelanthropus and Ardipithecus. But the real rock star of this evolutionary pre-show arrived around 4 million years ago, Australopithecus. You've probably heard of Lucy, the famous fossil found in Ethiopia. Lucy and her crew weren't built to build skyscrapers, but they had one defining revolutionary superpower: bipedalism. They walked on two legs. Walking upright changed everything. It freed up their hands to carry food, hold primitive sticks, and wave frantically at predators. It was also highly energy efficient for crossing long distances. Sure, they still had brains roughly the size of a chimpanzee's and faces only a mother Australopithecus could love, but the physical foundation of humanity was officially set. They stood up so that millions of years later we could sit down in office chairs. Chapter 2. Homo habilis and the Industrial Revolution of Rocks. For a long time, scientists drew human evolution as a neat straight line, a monkey slowly standing up straighter until he becomes a guy in a business suit. But real history is never that clean. Evolution doesn't work in a straight line. It works like a chaotic, brutal corporate elimination tournament. Multiple different species of early hominins lived, thrived, and competed at the exact same time. The true turning point happened around 2.4 million years ago with the emergence of a new line, the genus Homo. This is the moment the Human Club officially opened for business, and the charter member was Homo habilis, literally translating to handyman. Why did he get such a cool nickname? Because Homo habilis pioneered the very first technological revolution, the Oldowan toolset. They figured out that if you smash a volcanic rock against another volcanic rock at just the right angle, it chips off a dangerously sharp flake. Suddenly, humans weren't just scavengers waiting for lions to finish eating. We had tools to smash open bones and extract nutrient-rich bone marrow. This massive influx of protein and fat acted like rocket fuel for our ancestors' biological development. Our bodies started spending less energy digesting tough plants and more energy growing our most expensive organ, the brain. Chapter 3. Homo erectus and the Invention of the BBQ. If Homo habilis started the fire of humanity, Homo erectus took that fire and used it to conquer the world. Appearing around 1.9 million years ago, Homo erectus was an absolute game changer. These weren't ape-like creatures scurrying through the brush anymore. They possessed modern human body proportions, long legs, shorter arms, and a brain capacity double that of their predecessors. They were built for long-distance running and endurance hunting. But Homo erectus did two things that completely altered the trajectory of the planet. First, they became history's ultimate tourists. They looked at the African horizon and just kept walking, becoming the first human ancestors to expand out of Africa, spreading across Europe, India, China, and Indonesia. Second, and most importantly, they tamed fire. Controlling fire gave them a weapon against terrifying megafauna, a source of warmth in freezing climates, and a literal social circle to gather around. But cooking food was the real biological cheat code. Cooking breaks down nutrients before they even hit your stomach, allowing Homo erectus to absorb massive amounts of calories with minimal digestive effort. Their jaws got smaller, their brains got significantly bigger, and the very first late-night campfire storytelling sessions were born. They held the world stage for nearly 2 million years, about 9 times longer than our own species has even existed. Chapter 4. The arrival of Homo sapiens and the missing cousins. As Homo erectus spread and evolved in isolation across different continents, the human family tree branched out into a wild variety of regional cousins. In Europe and the Middle East, The cold climate forged the robust, heavily muscled Neanderthals. In Asia, the mysterious Denisovans thrived. Down in Indonesia, an isolated island group evolved into Homo floresiensis, a species of humans who stood barely 3 feet tall, affectionately known to modern scientists as the Hobbits. Meanwhile, back in Africa, around 300,000 years ago, a new contender stepped into the ring: Homo sapiens. That's us. Anatomically modern humans with high, rounded skulls, flat faces, and a distinct lack of heavy brow ridges. For tens of thousands of years, the world was a crowded place. We shared the planet with at least half a dozen other distinct human species, and we didn't just ignore them, we got to know them very well. Genetic testing of modern humans reveals that when Homo sapiens finally migrated out of Africa around 70,000 years ago, we encountered Neanderthals and Denisovans and interbred with them. If you are of non-African descent, you likely carry about 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA in your genome right now. By about 40,000 years ago, all our evolutionary cousins had vanished, leaving Homo sapiens as the last humans standing. Why did we survive while they faded away? It wasn't because we were physically stronger. A Neanderthal could easily win an arm wrestling match against you. It was our capacity for complex symbolic language. We could pass down intricate information, organize massive social groups, create art, invent myths, and cooperate with thousands of strangers based on shared beliefs. So, when was the first man? There was no single magical morning where an ape woke up, brushed its teeth, and suddenly became human. We are the result of a multi-million-year cooperative relay race where standing up, cracking rocks, grilling meat, and talking around campfires slowly accumulated until we became us. We carry the history of the cosmos in our atoms and the history of the Stone Age in our DNA. If you enjoyed this deep dive into our incredibly messy, ancient family album, do us a massive favor. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave a comment letting us know which bizarre piece of history, mythology, or deep sci-fi lore we should tackle next.